So I'm going to be talking about zoning, and the basic definition is the process of dividing land into multiple zones, and the land is going to be used for different purposes so that it can all cohesively work together. So there's different types of zoning, and I'll get into that. Right? Oh. What? Okay. No. So there's definitely different types of zoning where it determines the planning permission, and then the development will be granted. So they regulate the dimension requirements, how tall buildings should be, how big they should be, the density of development, how many houses are close together, whether it's apartment blocks as well, the extraction of natural resources, so that agricultural land wouldn't be overworked, spaceability and preservation of historical places, so that they're preserved, as well as other new development growing around it. And there are different types. So there's residential zoning, houses, apartment blocks, affordable housing, commercial zoning and industrial zoning, shopping, factories, different places like that, agricultural zoning, farming land, open space for farms to produce food and stuff like that. We also read about that in Burrowing Owls, where a lot of the land was being used for the wrong purpose. The tech industry was building over really good agricultural land. And then there's historic zoning, which is protecting historical sites and historical landmarks, such as the Presidio, such as the Mission, and also aesthetic zoning, which is open spaces, parks, stuff like that. So, talking about San Francisco, this is a map of San Francisco, which is the satellite, and you can see kind of the different types of zoning. A lot of the buildings over here are a lot more built up, and also there are a lot more factories down here to produce more goods, as well as there's a lot of ports to export and import different things. Also, you can see all the free green spaces, and also a lot of residential area over here in a grid. So the one example of zoning is the Central Corridor Plan, which is most recent, and what they're trying to do is that there's a cow station in Soma, and they're going to bring in a BART line to that cow train station, and they're going to rezone the area around it to be more residential, so that it will help out more commuters. Oops. So this is an example. This is the chart. So here is going to be the new BART line, and then this all, I think, used to be commercial zoning, but now we're going to change it into residential zoning so that more people can get down to Silicon Valley and more people can get down to work and back, and connected to the rest of the South Bay and the rest of the world. So we're going to have an activity. So there's this beautiful game. We're going to essentially solve the housing crisis. So I'm going to need 7 volunteers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool.
Is it all guys in this class except for you?
Oh, except for Michelle and I.
Well, we don't know if they get to
Well, Michelle's not here, so it's going to actually be all guys. So we can all come, take a look a little bit closely. So,
Where'd you get this? Will you go too, or not?
Yeah. Come around, gather.
What credit minutes?
They can sit behind the camera.
Why are you guys sitting there? Why are you come over
Well, because they don't want to be seen on camera.
Right.
They can't reveal their identities.
So,
Hi, Lively.
Hi, future
I
based
know how to
students.
play this game.
Put this on Lively.
I come around.
Lively's just like
Good luck with your presentation.
Okay. So who are my 7 volunteers?
Me,
Okay.
I was one of them.
Okay, you get a gold card, you get a
Jake
gold
was
card.
also.
You get a card.
Hey,
You get a
can
card.
we look
You
at
get a
them?
card. You get a card.
You get a Can we look at them? Jake,
Yes, you guys look at them.
You get a mortgage.
Oh, wait,
you
there's
get a
more.
mortgage. Yeah, this is cool.
Everyone gets a gold card, okay.
Everyone gets a mortgage.
We're all volunteers.
Okay, I guess
You guys
all
are,
playing now.
we're all playing.
Craig, Nick, where'd you get this game?
That's
Nick, where'd you get this game?
I have no
Hey, I was gonna
idea.
say Bay Area.
like a Kickstarter.
It's like the Bay School. That's the same exact school.
I forgot to say that, yeah.
Hey, this looks like it's related. This is
Yeah,
a
this looks like the
conspiracy.
baseball logo.
I think you guys made this up.
So I have no idea what these
This
things
is
do,
well made
but
though, like
we're
all the
just
cards are
gonna.
really nice.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the toss.
C5 or D?
How many?
Yeah, not bad.
What does that mean?
That was mine.
Yeah, you can't do it, if everything's bad, then you
Okay.
can't do anything.
Isn't there such a niche, like,
So
way you use it?
Sure?
it is.
I don't know,
Okay.
mine's pretty bad.
So we are going to play 2 rounds of this,
What's
and it's
C5
going to show 4 years of gentrification and rezoning the South Bay and East Bay areas. So we'd like to go first for drawing an economy card.
So I read it out loud.
Yes.
Standard economy, new housing demands 100,000 units, maximum upzoning D6.
So we're going to get
So very
Damn.
so D6.
D6.
Here's D6, and then
Scary Monopoly.
scary Monopoly.
So
Wait, are you in Alameda? What do I do with my card?
So yeah, you're going to take one of these
Just trying to figure this out.
and then place it on
It's like a
D6.
specie.
Where's D6? D6 is over here.
Who goes down?
Alright, so we're gonna upbuild. So this shows upbuilding San Francisco. Alright, now it is
So excited.
your turn.
Standard economy, new housing demand, 100,000 units, D6.
Oh!
Alright, so
Yeah.
That's such a good card.
That's
That
That
So-
means we're in the same building now.
you guys are building the same area, upbuilding the
It's
same.
like how
Yes.
that's how buildings.
So it's being very upbuilt right now.
Twice.
Alright, who wants to go next?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just going in circles.
Yeah, I wanna go.
Twice.
New housing demand 50,000 units, R2 maximum zoning.
R2.
Which one?
Anyone.
I'll take
Well, no, check
R2.
your goal though, you know?
Oh, 40 minutes to Santa Clara. Alright, so I need to go down here then.
Yeah. So
R2, right here.
You want Maria.
I do.
okay. So we're gonna continue going around in a circle. I'm not sure if I'm playing this game correctly, but we're gonna go with it.
We're going with it.
I'm coming down today.
What?
D6.
Who's going next?
Economic boom. New housing demand, 200,000 units, maximum upzoning D8. Where's D8?
Yeah.
Where is D8?
That's the A6. I think I got the best one.
Well, there is open space.
So I can just like expand.
You can expand.
I'll do that.
Right. 2,000 units?
Yeah, 200,000.
200,000.
What?
So you can pick any open space.
These what?
Yeah, wait.
But also look at your goals.
Sam, yeah, here we go. Here we go. We're cooking with fire.
Alright, so you're building that open space.
Hey, what are these things?
I don't know.
This is literally the Bay font, like the Bay.
It is.
No, like what they'll do.
Do you want to play?
Yeah, New housing demand 200,000. It's in the maximum.
That's exactly what I got.
Alright, so you're gonna pick an open space and.
No, stay away from that open space.
We're in the law.
Oh,
Yeah,
you want to sit away from the open space.
I can't go like.
Oh, I know you can't
I petition.
So I gotta do one of these.
go. Yeah. What's your goals?
This one like after that. That's my goal.
You're like Durant.
No changes.
So let's go there.
Alright, so you built over here.
But is that like?
Okay, who's next
I
for,
feel like the side
okay.
of the map is what we do with it.
Economic boom, 200,000 units D8.
So good.
You guys are like
They found
building.
it.
Send it to Halfmoon
No,
Days.
not fertilizer goods.
So just,
What's the
yeah,
point? Yeah.
The cards
Or the
are.
card shuffle.
am I winning?
Make sure the point is out there more of that.
Alright,
We're tied.
who's next?
Tie the card, make it go.
Oh, sorry.
Economic boom, 200, okay. New recession, new housing demand, 5,000 units, maximum upzoning R2.
That's weird.
500,000 R2.
We're in.
I live in Morbid.
There's a lot of art too.
I want to be
Where do you need to be?
under 40 minutes to San Mateo.
Yeah, so it doesn't want to.
Where the hell are you
Yeah.
San Mateo? San Mateo is
San Mateo's right here.
Down
I live in
there. Wow.
It's great land,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
R2.
Right there. Video.
Okay, R2, 500,000?
50.
50,000.
I can start video.
Alright, you're taking my worst.
Oh, Presidio.
What is it called?
The commute thing, I still don't understand. But I feel like this would be more of a representation of the
We're gonna skip this.
With the cars.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
All
You're
the
going,
Durants,
okay, I'm sorry.
Teslas.
Durant doesn't
Can I
live
read
over
this
there.
for Bob?
Sure.
New housing demand,
That's way too
3,000
far away.
units, maximum revenue, D8.
Where do you think he lives?
3,000?
Is it Concord? He lives in here.
300,000.
Oh, that's Concord.
No, these cars are Ubers though. They're not even.
Here, that's probably close.
Yeah, 11 minutes.
Where's Juan?
What the fuck's
Yeah,
that my
so
goal?
right, that's probably where he's at.
It's not my goal.
Yeah, that's not my goal.
Here, this is 300,000 and we're
Are we allowed to have
D8.
not split lunch next block?
Wait, I don't get this.
Me neither. So,
Okay, that makes
find an open space and
Makes
put
what?
this
That
there.
makes much sense.
Yes, of course.
D8.
What do you guys want? Hope you just don't get.
What if the dictator says? What if the dictator just freezes?
It's not within his power.
Where's D8?
D8, 300,000 units.
What units?
D8, 300,000.
300.
What is like sound? But that's against my.
What is like?
Can I just?
I don't-
Can I just
Maybe we
decide
should do
not
something
to?
else on purpose.
What? I think we ran out of 300s, but
If I just decide not to, can I? Do I have to slow it?
Where?
here is 250
Yeah, I know.
with
Oh, you gotta
50
Under our, it's on
You
our.
gotta build D8s on
for
other
D8.
But it's somewhere
You
around.
have to build D8s on other
There are
D8s.
no other. The first person with a D8 makes where the D8 is.
look like a sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technically.
So,
You look like you're saying
you guys are like
Sketchy
check.
shoes.
Sure.
Okay.
Do I have to?
I don't know.
And then what's your card?
Standard economy, new housing demand 100,000 units, maximum zoning is D6.
D6, 100.
Wait, so what about the outlet more dimension? We should not deal with that.
So I
I think I
Dash Anderson is taking over my utopia.
Yes.
He's just coming in during his flags.
It's just flags. It just comes in.
Here. 100,000?
Yes.
I
So
mean,
I
it
know
did
this
a little,
is
yeah,
anywhere
it's like he's like
D6.
legit
Or
coming
any-
towards us today.
Is it a number below D6?
That's actually hilarious.
Oh,
Well, there's
something that we're not doing.
No, it's just any number below D6 I can put it? Do I have another card now?
Now you guys.
No, we were just gonna play run round because this is to show 2 years of upbuilding. C4.
Oh, C4, right? C4?
D6 is here. D6 is here, so you can put that there. Okay, so this is to show 2 years of yeah. So this is to show 2 years of housing planning and
So downtown got way over.
yes. So downtown got way overdeveloped, and then there was also more developing around it, and then other places up north got more developed. More near the Richmond Bridge, which is interesting.
Is this not like the most niche game ever? Where else would this be applicable other than this class?
What if like at the very end of the game, what is gonna happen?
Overpop, I guess. The goal of the game is to solve the housing crisis by
This is
By spreading
So
it.
it's not complicated on it.
No, so, but,
what's interesting?
oh yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going? So what's interesting about this game, the part that we haven't done yet in this game, and this is probably the one that takes time, is that there are two more dimensions to this game, not just the housing, like developing housing, right?
Commuters.
But there's the rent on the bottom, right? There's a rent counter, and then there's a commute time, which is from 15 to like 55 minutes. And you guys have goals in your hands, right? Like not only do you have like economy cards, but you have goals in your hands that you were given. And every time you build, you increase the rent counter and you increase the commute counter. And so what you need to do is you need to figure out where to, like, you guys will all say, well, let's all build it here, or like C4, like, whatever.
But
The question is like, is that, like, so then it becomes a group decision-making thing to decide like, where are you gonna build so that the rent counter and the commute counter
are fine.
well, meet your goals.
Yeah. Wait,
Because
so-
you each have slightly different goals than others, and so then it becomes this like, can we balance this? And that's where it becomes interesting and complicated.
So here, the rent is $2,800 a month and 19-minute commute, is that what that says?
No, it's basically what it is that at the beginning you set up the rent, right? At the beginning you set up the rent to whatever it's supposed to be, and for every 25 units short, you move up one rent space, and commute time all counties by up one space. Right, so if you're short 100,000 units, you have just jacked up the rent count by 4.
Because there's more demand.
Because there's more demand, and you jacked up the commute time by 4, right? And so that's probably when it gets really interesting and you know. Furthermore, really you can upzone things, so you can change the zoning from all the way from open space all the way up to downtown, right? And you can commute. So RB residential, right, DB downtown, and there's another zone, C, which is commercial, yeah. Yeah, so the upzoning goes from open space to residential, 1, 2, 3, to commercial, 4, 5, to downtown zones, 6, 7, 8. Anyway, we need to play this at some point, like for real, and read the rules, but that's
For real.
For real. Do you have any other stuff you want to do, or I don't know much?
Does anyone have any questions about zoning? I mean, this game is as complicated as it is, but do you have any questions about the concept of zoning, blah, yada, yada, yada?
Well, when did things start, when did people start being like, oh, let's zone this for this and this for that, and do zones that are industrial stay industrial and stuff like that? How does it develop over time, or stay the same?
I think that for industrial zones, since it's obviously a company and they're making products and they're importing and exporting, if that economy isn't doing well, then why do they give this huge company that space? So, also, I think, also demand and commuting, changing that area in Soma into being residential for commuters, is one way of rezoning an area. So yeah, I think.
Well, I think zoning historically happened by people who have money own industry, right? Or rather, people who own industry have money typically, right? Yeah. And they want to. What they want is they would rather not be so far from their industry, right? If you think about historically in Europe, say, or early America, right? You want to be next to your trade.
Yeah.
But if your trade is going to, let's say your trade is to do leather, right? That totally destroys rivers.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be downstream from that. So natural zoning happened because people either wanted to be next to an industry or not. And eventually it became a way to protect oneself, right? So you say, we're going to put all the industry, which is going to be toxic, we're going to put it over there, and then the question becomes who lives over there?
Yeah, well then environmental racism.
That's when you get into environmental racism, right? Because, so in Europe, for example, in France, where the dominant wind always comes from the west, right? The residential zoning is always on the west side of the city, and the industrial zoning is always on the east side of the city, so that you're upwind from the industry. If you are rich enough to afford that, right? And the poor people live on the east side of the cities where it's downwind with all the industries and all this stuff. So that's what happens in France. I'm not even sure how it happened here in this country. That's historically, that's how all the cities are built.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or people will do industrial zoning in places that were swamps originally because nobody wants to live there, right? So,
And stuff.
so it was easy to develop. It was cheap to develop. What's that?
They just like fill the swamps and
Yeah.
put people on
That's
top.
what happened in San Francisco, right? When they killed the harbors
And then
Well, the
people
harbors
By-
are usually swamps.
By doing it
not swamps, but like ocean.
but by doing things in zones, you're not saying you get to build this one thing, and you're not approving every single use, guys. You're saying in general you can do what you want as long as it's within these constraints. So if you have a residential area, people are allowed to build houses there if they own the land, but somebody can't come in and just be like, here's an empty lot, or I'm going to tear this house down and put in a nightclub that's going to be super busy and loud in the middle of the night, or a smelly factory. So it protects the people who already have are using the land in particular ways. And it's interesting, like at one point that was very much designed around this idea that we'll have like an industrial area and a residential area and a business area, and the fashion now is they've discovered that that wasn't always healthy for cities, and that mixed use areas where there are businesses and residential close together is a good thing. So now they're zoning for that and saying you're not allowed to just build houses without any businesses. But it's like kind of controlling the way the city develops.
Mr. Chair, there's a orange
Where do
one that needs to
Right, yes.